a picnic. Do I strike you as the kind of girl for a picnic? In this weather?
Well, you did say it was a surprise, and we are heading away from town, so I just thought, look out! They're coming! They're coming!
What is going on?
What is that?
It's pandemonium, folks. CCTN News is getting reports of something horrible, something terrible coming from the skies.
You're leaving Capital City.
Well, my dad got transferred to another fire hall. What am I supposed to do?
Well, you're supposed to. Luke here.
Luke, I think we've got a big problem here, and it's coming this way. Listen.
What is that?
We have no idea.
The only thing we know is that it can destroy anything.
In its path.
Let me get this straight. You started what kind of a film festival here in Capital City?
A Klaus von Steinhauer festival. You see, my friends and I have a great deal of interest in the films of Mr. von Steinhauer. You might even say he's our #1 interest.
Oh, and the very heavens will open, and my creatures will pour down to tear Capital City to shreds!
Klaus, what are you doing? What have you done?
You heard me, the city's under siege. We need the monster warriors. More than ever before. I make the monsters speak.
An emergency CCTN news flash, folks. Right now, as we speak, Capital City is in a state of panic. Unexplained destruction all over the place. All sorts of citizens are running for their lives. If we take a look at this footage, you can see right now...
Klaus von Steinhauer's unleashed a monster that no one can even get a good look at?
Yeah, but what kind of monster could that be?
No, it's as if...
And why does it seem to be in so many different places at once?
Are you guys all right? You look...
Luke here.
Luke, it's Mayor Mel. We've got a serious problem on our hands.
Since 6 o'clock this morning,
We've got 14 squashed farms,
a caved-in dairy.
and that old maple syrup factory is flat as a pancake.
Whoa, whoa, sir. Did you just say squashed?
Yes, I said squashed.
We'll see what we can do. I'll get back to you, sir. All right, we got to get a grip on this thing. Antonio?
Okay. Think, Antonio, think. Let's start with what we've heard. Judging from the sound of its approach, we can assume that it's a quadruped.
And it can move all over the place. The people were running from the north, but the destruction we saw was from the west.
Well, maybe there's more than one. The mayor did say they.
So whatever they are, it sounds like they're both massive and numerous. We're gonna need some special firepower to handle monsters like this.
How massive?
A creature that just goes around squashing buildings?
And has an amazing range.
The problem is I only have so much of the early Klaus stuff in my collection.
Only the most serious collector.
Then again, I may have just met the perfect person to help us. Luke? Let me get back to you. Wow. This place hasn't looked like this in 40 years.
Wait till Dr. Charlie sees what I bring him. Soon we'll be able to create a monster that will frighten the entire village. Soon those bad people in the village will know what it is to be frightened by a monster that is undead.
His second movie, made before he even came to North America. The Cabinet of Dr. Charlie.
What are you doing, you fool? Go away, gypsy woman. Can't you see I'm doing for Dr. Charlie?
But I didn't think any copies even existed.
Well, we've been studying the films of Mr. von Steinhauer for some time, my friends and I. In fact, you could say I feel like I've come to know Klaus von Steinhauer.
Believe me, I'm an old gypsy woman, and I know you will be cursed.
Cursed? What say you cursed?
He disappeared, you know, earlier this year from the Shady Pass rest home.
Well, he may have left the Shady Pass rest home, but he hasn't disappeared. Not from Capital City.
This is the devil's work you do for Dr. Charlie. Even a man who is pure in heart and says his prayers at night may be doomed if Dr. Charlie walks the earth and calls him his own.
Krieger, I really can't talk right now.
No, I mean, you really need to talk to this guy.
Krieger, we've got a major problem here.
But you...
I'll call you back.
Tonio, like I said, it's big. Take cover!
Okay, I've calibrated these phase bomber weapons to the highest photon frequency we've ever used, so they should be able to stop anything in its tracks. It's your laptop.
My laptop? Why would...
Warriors, are you there? Come in. Warriors. It's Henry.
Henry, we don't really have time for this right now.
I need to warn you
Warn me about what?
about what's happening.
What are you talking about? Henry, are you all right? What's back there that you're always so worried about?
They control us, Luke. They control all of us.
What was that? Looked like a giant...
Look out!
Giant frogs with teeth? That's just wrong. Plain wrong. We fire on my count. 1, 2, 3, fire!
It might be the trigger mechanism. Maybe if I just...
Tabby, we don't have time to be fixing weapons in the field. In case you haven't noticed, we're in trouble here. We retreat on my count. 1, 2, run!
I know this sounds crazy, but it's like they're only chasing us!
This way!
Klaus, don't you think you have enough?
Oh, no. I must have more to accomplish my mission, Miss Law.
Mission. Klaus, you make it sound like someone's giving you a job.
Oh, the destruction of Capital City is my job, Miss Core. And to that, the key is stopping those 4 horrible teenagers who are always stopping me!
One thing I gotta say, I'm grateful for Capital City's extensive tunnel system. Well, we should be safe as long as we're...
Look out!
Come on! Get in! Come on!
And when I have my enemies trapped in the movie house, then I will set my monsters upon them, and my creatures will vanquish Capital City!
Movie house. Klaus, what movie house? What are you talking about? You seem so strange.
That will be the end of Klaus von Steinhauer.
End? What are you talking about? Klaus?
And the monster warriors will lead my new creature invasion.
Dink Dorman here with with an update on Capital City's creature crisis. Most of our fair citizens are abandoning the city. The downtown core, it's totally deserted. The question is, where are our monster warriors? Okay, that was close.
Wow.
Weird place.
Thank goodness you're all right. Mr. Plant, these are the monster warriors, Luke, Antonio, Vanka, and Tabby. Luke, Mr. Plant is someone I think you should talk to. He might have some very useful information about Klaus von Steinhauer.
Well, we're gonna need all the help we can get. Because they're big, Krieger, and too many. And it looks like they followed us here.
That doesn't sound good.
Sounds like there's more than 2. Maybe 3? 4?
Well, we can't even think about fighting an enemy unless we can see how many there are.
Unfortunately, by their very nature, movie theaters don't have windows. At least none I've been able to find.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to split up. Krieger, you and I and Mr. Plant will head upstairs. I think we need to talk. As for the rest of you, remember, our weapons are malfunctioning, so...
Give it to me. All right, odds are it's gonna work better than ever now, so could we please stop talking about it?
Fine. All right.
What the heck was that about?
Not about weapons, I can tell you that. It's just something Luke and I were talking about earlier.
What were you talking about?
About me leaving Capital City and the Monster Warriors, and how that's not such a bad idea after all.
What?
Mr. Plant, Krieger tells me you may have some crucial information on Klaus von Steinhauer.
Well, I'd be willing to help in any way that I can. You know, if you just step into Cinema 1, there might be an old...
Did you hear that?
What is it?
No frogs.
Yes, sir.
Luke, it's quiet. It's too quiet.
Copy that, sir.
You know, that means that the things that were falling out of the sky, well, they're taken care of, and you're gonna tell me that Capital City is at peace again.
I can't do that, sir.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Sir, what we appear to be dealing with here is giant frogs.
Frogs? You mean Ribbit?
No, I mean like destruction machines. Like nothing I've ever seen before.
But, Luke...
Sir, we are doing everything we can. We may have to consider evacuating the city.
Evacuating the city? Oh, we've never done that.
Sir, we've never had a situation like this. I'll call you when I know more.
Right. Good luck, Luke.
Oh, boy.
Do you think it's that serious?
I think it's that serious.
And I just might have proof of that. Now, if you just follow me into Cinema 1, I think that you'll find what you're looking for. As I was telling Mr. Krieger, this is an early film that might show you what you are up against. Behold, the mind of a young Klaus von Steinhauer.
Even a man who's pure in heart and says his prayers at night may be doomed when Dr. Charlie walks the earth and calls him his own.
Go away, gypsy woman. You have no place here.
Dr. Charlie.
But that's impossible.
After, come on!
If I can just get a little bit higher.
That man, he is not who he says he is. You just watch that crazy old movie and you'll see what I mean. That movie, it's the key to everything.
Wait a minute, we know you.
What do you mean the movie's the key to everything?
It's a trap.
Surely you're not going to believe a word she says. Clearly, she's insane.
It's bad. It's worse than we thought.
Giant frogs, yes. Well, you think I'm happy about that? You've got bats in your belfry. No, I'm not going to answer any more.
Luke? Luke.
So you're gonna have to do it.
Do what?
Evacuate the city.
Murdering all those people at a capital city, that's so drastic.
Sir, I admit that it sounds drastic, but new information suggests that these frogs may be part of a plan to trap us. Now, what happens to us doesn't matter. But once we lose, frogs will turn on capital city.
Once we lose? That doesn't sound like you, Luke.
Yeah, well, let's just say I have some inside information.
But, Luke...
Sir, I'm asking you to do this for all of capital city.
But...
Next question. Ma'am, what do you mean when you say... Where'd she go?
She was here a second ago.
We gotta split up and find her. Krieger, you and Mr. Plant check the projection and maintenance rooms. Tonio, Vonka, basement. Tabby and I'll go upstairs.
Wait. Warrior tracking devices. These will track each warrior and monitor our vital signs so we'll know that we're all safe. And the receiver. Just in case.
That's right. We should have the entire city deserted in less than an hour. That's an order. Certain exceptions, of course. Good luck, warriors. And thank you.
Luke, I think you and I need to have a talk.
I don't know if this is really the right time to talk. Besides, there's nothing to talk about.
Yes, there is. I didn't say I was leaving before. I just said that my dad was transferring. But
what?
But after the way you talked to me in the field today,
What we are doing is for science. If those fools in the village can understand that, then they must perish.
okay, this might not be the time, but I think it is.
Time for what?
For me to leave the Warriors. If we get out of this, I mean, I'm not what I should be to the team or what you want, so if that's true, then I don't see why I shouldn't leave with my dad when he transfers.
Tabby, you can't.
Upstairs! Go!
Get it off of me!
Tonio!
Get it off of me! Get it off of me!
Hang on!
I'm losing my grip!
Grab my hand!
Luke, save yourself!
Grab my hand!
You've got to get out of here!
You don't understand!
I'm not going anywhere without you.
Even a man lost in the maze of his own mind can imagine he's anything. But you are not the creator of life you imagine yourself to be. You are just mad, mad, mad.
It's him.
What we do for science. If those fools in the village can't understand that, then they must perish.
Mr. Plant?
Come, Igor, we have work to do and monsters to create. Let's dig up these graves and get to it.
Maybe there's something this... Mr. Plant? Mr. Plant?
It's Mr. Plant.
He's in the old movie.
Which is impossible. Those movies were made over 60 years ago, and Mr. Plant does not look 100 years old.
So that means?
He's not human.
It's about time you tell us who you really are, Mr. Plant.
Who I really am?
Who you really are.
We saw you in the old movie.
And in the old movie poster.
And you look exactly the same in both of them, which would make you around 100 years old.
I don't care how much moisturizer you use. That just isn't on.
All right, then, I'll tell you.
No, no one in the projection booth. Maybe... Mr. Plant?
Krieger?
Luke! Did you guys see that? He changed. I've never seen anything like that.
Yes, we have. Vonka's teacher, Mr. Fishbine, changed underwater. Wasn't it just like that?
You're right. It was exactly like that.
Which way did he go?
Towards Cinema 1.
Come on, guys. It's time we figure out what this guy's all about. You're saying something about old movie posters?
Yeah. This one with Mr. Plant's picture on it.
You didn't notice anything about the rest of them?
Attack of the Dragons, skeletons, pterodactyls.
Tyrannosaurus. They're just some of the creatures we faced.
Yeah, but that's really not so strange. After all, we knew almost from the beginning that we were dealing with monsters from von Steinhauer films.
Except with these, they're lined up in practically the exact same order as the monsters arrived in Capital City.
There was another place that these films were screamed in almost the exact same order. Remember when Krieger first told us about the Creature Fest on CCTN on the night of March 15th?
Got this one off the air a couple months ago when CCTN had a Klaus von Steinhauer Monster Fest weekend.
You mean they put it on the air in that condition?
No, see, everything started out all right, but then the weirdest thing happened. Suddenly there were all these strange, wavy lines, almost as if something was monitoring the broadcast. March 15th, I remember thinking, beware the Ides of March.
That was the same night that something absolutely huge blocked out the night sky.
So we're talking something big.
Enormous. Big enough to block out all perception of the cosmos. Can you picture it? Exactly.
I know where you're going with this, because it was right after that that the creatures started getting weirder.
Not just weirder, though. More real.
That could only mean one thing.
Klaus might have started making the monsters on his own, but he wasn't alone. Somebody was helping him.
Or something. I mean, I know what I saw in the haunted house when we were chasing the T-Rex. And now this Mr. Plant.
In this movie. And every time it... Who was that?
There's someone in here, I can tell.
Krieger? Mr. Plant? Miss Electrical Worker?
There's something very strange about these movies. It's not like a Klaus von Steinhauer movie at all.
You're right. It appears to be a silent film, and silent films were finished long before Klaus was even born.
Luke, the frogs, they don't sound the same. Guys, we have to go find out what's going on outside. Back to the ventilators.
Do you understand now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get it.
Are you with us now?
This is only reading the life signs of 3 warriors. Oh!
Your friends!
They're in trouble. Down there. Where'd they go? Where is everybody? What's happened to the monster warriors?
We have to see what they're doing.
Fire! You're seeing something else! What are we gonna do, guys? We can't stay in here forever and we can't fight these things off.
Or maybe we don't have to fight them.
Luke, where have you been? I thought you were right behind us.
Tabitha, maybe we should start thinking about this. What if, by destroying Capital City, the frogs were actually doing us a favor?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the possibility of a newer and better city. Believe me, you just saw this film back there? It all makes sense to me now.
Think Dorman here, almost live with breaking news. Capital City is practically deserted, folks. That's right, no one is on the streets. That's because giant frogs have taken over the city.
That isn't Luke.
No kidding.
So, all I'm saying here, if the frogs did manage to destroy Capital City, it wouldn't be all that bad.
Right. I think I know what you mean.
Tony wasn't really buying this, is he?
All he's trying to do is buy his time. We need to find the others. We're gonna need Krieger's help and even that electrical worker lady. Most of all, we need to know where that creepy Mr. Plant is.
Okay, well, what about Luke?
Antonio knows how to take care of himself.
So, if higher-level beings took over, the city would be better off.
Let's go.
What do you think?
Well, in Ecclesiastes, we read that for every time there is a purpose. And at this time, I believe our purpose is to hide.
But your friends weren't in the lobby. Where do you think they...
Freeze!
Krieger?
Let me guess. We got trouble?
Hey. What I think we need to do here is get out there and help them destroy Capital City. Right. See, it's the only thing that makes sense. So we're gonna start taking apart the city by squashing it, right, Antonio? See, it just hit me in a moment of perfect clarity that all this monster fighting, it doesn't make any sense. And at the same time, what are those for?
Okay, it was that crazy old movie. I know it. Luke not being Luke, that's horrible.
I'm starting to wonder if that weird movie Mr. Plant is showing is even a movie at all. I mean, I've certainly never heard of it. Maybe it's a kind of charm. If you watch it long enough, you start to agree with Klaus's plan to destroy Capital City.
But Klaus isn't Klaus either. Okay, I know Klaus has done a lot of things to destroy Capital City, including creating the giant frogs. But I just don't think it's right to judge him right now. Because it's not him inside him anymore.
I'm not sure I understand, Miss Gore.
He changed after the spaceship.
Spaceship?
Klaus! Klausy? Where did you go? I had another one of my little sleeping spells, and the next thing I knew... There you are, crazy boy. What are you doing?
It was the night of the Creature Fest. I went for a walk to get away from shady past rest home. I'm sure I did. And then I ended up here.
But that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Just before...
Just before I started to make the monsters speak.
It's like he was, I don't know, remembering something that happened months ago and looking for it to come back. And the other night, I think he found it.
Come to me! Come to me! I am Klaus von Steinauer.
When I woke up, there was Klaus, like nothing had happened. He told me I dreamt the whole thing, but I don't think I did. Because today, there was no question. Klaus isn't Klaus.
What are you talking about? You seem so strange.
And that will be the end of Klaus von Steinauer.
End? What are you talking about?
And the monster warriors will lead my new creature invasion.
So that's how I ended up here. I thought maybe the key to what was happening to him was in this old movie house.
And that's why we have to get out of here while we still have the chance.
Out of here? How? There are hundreds of frogs waiting to tear us apart.
They're not waiting anymore. They're sleeping.
Klaus von Steinauer creatures don't sleep.
Mechanical monsters don't, that's right. But once you mix them with alien DNA, they're no longer mechanical. That means that while they may be fiercer, they also have to do a lot of the same things that real creatures do.
Like sleep.
My guess is now is our only chance.
And Luke?
Come on, guys! We can destroy Capital City together!
It'd be great. I'm saying for the good of everyone involved, we leave him behind on this one.
I'm not leaving him behind.
Tabby, it's just for now. It's what Luke would do.
Antonio's right. You three need to get out of here. You might be the only hope Capital City has left.
We'll take care of your friend.
Be careful. If we can just make it to City Hall, I think we can set up a command post from the safety of the basement. From there, we can contact the civil authorities and let them know what's going on. Okay, move out.
What do you see?
I think they're gonna make it.
But that's not what we wanted. None of you seem to understand. We wanted to keep the monster warriors so they could help us. We had hoped we wouldn't have to resort to getting rid of them, but that seems to be the situation that's been forced upon us.
Mr. Plant.
I think we all know that I'm not Mr. Plant. And if the battle is about to begin, perhaps we should become properly introduced.
Let the battle begin. Soon, Luke, you will find the joy in doing in your friends.
I got this one, guys, go!
Not a chance!
Aim!
You have to do it. You must destroy those who attempt to save Capital City. Fire on your friends.
Luke, you can't!
I must destroy them in order to destroy Capital City.
Shoot!
Don't!
Shoot!
I must destroy Capital City!
But not Tabby. Isn't that your girlfriend's name?
She's not my girlfriend.
Yes, she is. Whether you or she know it or not. And the other two, aren't they your best friends? Luke, believe me, I am the last girl to go for a happy ending. But I do know that when you find something spicy, it's pretty rare.
I'm not going anywhere without you. Surely do know how to fix these things.
Mark my words, the new monster battles have just begun!
Do your best, Mr. Alien. Whatever monsters you've got to dish out, my friends and I can handle them.
What in the world?
You ever get the feeling that things just got a lot more complicated?
You ever get the feeling she knows a lot more about making these weapons than I thought?
That doesn't make any sense. How do Klaus von Steinhauer creatures just disappear?
They don't. At least not the Klaus von Steinhauer creatures we've come to know, which tells us we clearly have a new problem on our hands. Is it you? It's me.
How do we know?
It's him. I know.
Boy, you really had us worried there for a minute.
Don't know what happened to me in there. It's like that movie just totally took me over. And all of a sudden I snapped out of it. Guess that just goes to show some things are stronger than even alien spells.
Dink Dorman here, folks, and CCTN is back on the airwaves. All seems well and peaceful again in Capital City. No one knows why, but it seems that the strange threat has suddenly disappeared.
So what are you saying, Antonio?
Klaus is still out there. Whether his brain has been taken over completely by the aliens or whether he still has the potential for independent function, that's another question. But what this flowchart clearly shows is that at no point have the aliens shown their ability to create the primary creatures without Klaus's help. Now, I've also created another flowchart here that shows how we can function as a team of 3 warriors as opposed to 4. Now, if you check this part out right here...
You've created a flowchart to show us how to fight monsters?
Is there a problem with that?
No, it's cool. It's just,
If we're gonna be facing a whole new set of monsters, and now we're only 3, we're gonna need more than a flowchart. We're gonna need...
Weapons. A whole new set of monsters means a whole new set of weapons.
I thought you were...
Packing with my dad? I was. But lately he's been reminding me of something.
What's that?
Well, the whole reason he's switching firehouses is because that's his duty, to help people. So maybe my duty is...
So you're staying?
Yeah, well, you guys gotta remember, I have Britt and Agatha, so I have a place to stay in Capital City.
And there's no other reason you're staying in Capital City?
School, and Agatha, friends. No. Well, except for this. I'm the one who knows how to build the weapons. Not you or you, and especially not you. So the next time we're out in the field and something goes a little wrong, just ask yourself this. When was the last time you were able to build a Monster Blaster photon beam spreader out of an old CD player and a coffee grinder? So, if you guys will excuse me, I need to find a place to put my stuff.
Well, I think it's safe to say Tabby's back.
I think so.
I don't think we should talk to her for the rest of the day.
You guys have got a lot of work to do. It's monster time.